Again, thank you so much for taking the time to join me here this morning. I greatly appreciate your time. I'm excited about this. I've been working with sales professionals and business owners for the past 22 years, and when I ended up creating this because of a client that I was working with, it was just really struggling on getting new prospects in front of them. I'm not a marketing guy, but when I created this, I was pretty excited about it and thought this is a pretty good thing to share with people. And I'm always that creative person, and so that's what led to putting this together. For those on the webinar this morning that don't know me, if I could just share a little bit about myself, I think it's important to understand a little bit about the messenger before the message. I founded an organization that I currently run and own called TaylorMade Leadership 22 years ago. I work as a speaker and trainer, executive coach, specializing in peak performance behavior. Studied the science of human behavior for the past 35 years. I'm the geek on the dock at the cottage studying neuroscience when everybody else is sitting and having a beer. Before that, I spent, trust me, I'm doing it with a beer too. Before that, I spent 20 years in broadcasting, radio, and television at a number of stations across Southern Ontario and Toronto, including CFRB 1010 in Toronto and Global Television, hosting my show called Summit of Life. Worked in sales before that, manual labor before that, and before that, grew up in poverty and parent alcoholism and lived on the streets homeless at age 14. So all of that process, I'll be honest with you, it really made me understand. I could have gone that way, but instead, it made me believe that absolutely anything was possible. And so that's my mindset in going forward and what it is that I do. So, uh, a question for you off the top: when you meet with a new client, right, and you're able to share what you do and how you do it and the value that you bring to the table, when you sit with a client and they'll actually, listen to your presentation and listen to you, if you're like most, how does it go? And the answer is it goes pretty well. So then let me ask you this. Is the biggest challenge convincing a client who's agreed to meet with you? Is that the challenge to do business? Or is the challenge getting new prospects to meet with you and hear you out? What's the answer? Right? I mean, if you're like most, it's getting those new people to meet with you. And what I really learned from 20 years in radio and television very clearly was that the people that I interviewed, they were seen by the audience as the expert. Being the person in the media, I had access to the very best, in any field, the very best experts out there. And so, from the audience perspective, this guy, if he's on Randy's show, he must be the best in the field. And that's, it may not be fair, it may not be 100% true, but it is the power of the media. That the media absolutely is a kingmaker. I work with an advisor up in Aurelia by the name of Jed. Gosh, it's got to be, I would say, 15 years ago. And we're working on his practice, and he was a young guy and trying to build his book of business, and he was up in Aurelia. And I came up with this idea and said, what about the local newspaper? What if you offered to them to, write a column once a week on, different aspects of financial services? And so I helped him to, draft a letter and go to the newspaper and present to them. And he didn't get paid for it. But they put his little picture right in the newspaper, and I forget what the column was called, but every Friday there was a picture of Jed and his thoughts on something to do with financial services. Well, within about 3 months, everywhere, and Aurelia is a small town, but everywhere that Jed went in Aurelia, people would stop him and say, "Oh my gosh, you're that guy in the newspaper. You're that financial genius guy." And I mean, it was so incredible to watch that something so small like that was able to help him to really, build his practice. It wasn't everything. There was a lot of other things that he did, obviously, to build his practice, but it really went such a long way in getting him recognized and being seen in the community as the expert. So let's go to this. Let's compare marketing. Almost all marketing truly is talking at the client, right? From a behavioral position, it's all but impossible when that happens that you're being sold something. So if you're doing a video for your business and it's you looking at the client, the client's going to hear you, but they're going to hear you through a filter. And it's very common in human behavior. I mean, think of your own experience when you walk onto a car lot and the salesperson walks over. How do you feel? Right? You're in a clothing store and the clerk looks at you and tells you, "Oh my gosh, darling, you look marvelous in that," because they're trying to make a sale and you know it. The doorbell rings and the person standing there is wearing a laminated badge and clipboard. How do you feel? You feel reserved, right? I mean, we all have this protective mechanism that we really don't want to be sold something. So let me ask you this. How do you feel when you're watching an interview? Relaxed, taking it in, passively taking in the information, right? Eavesdropping on the conversation. With informed, you will be featured in a major market style the same kind of interview that I did for 20 years, thousands of them. And when this happens, you are seen as the expert. How it is presented is that to the audience of people watching this, it's presented that my producers decided on a topic. We went out into the marketplace trying to find an expert, and we found you. I'll be very honest as well. I mean, in this process of doing this and making this so believable, if I didn't have this, as my resume of working at all these media outlets, then it would be another video online. But the credibility of that and my experience, again, I did it for 20 years, thousands of interviews. I'm pretty good at this. Without that, it wouldn't carry the same kind of weight. So again, it's proposed to people that are watching this that producers went out into the marketplace, looked for an expert, and they found you. So how the process works is that we will meet you and I to choose the topic, right? Relative to something that is, of course, something you want to promote in your business. We'll go over that and include. See, you should always shut off your own telephone when you're actually doing a meeting. To what we're looking to do is include all of the questions and all the information that you would like to typically have in a first client meeting. So again, in a first client meeting, what are the kind of things that you would want to share with them that show your value, that show your process, and that typically allow you to then take a client and to land them. We then write the questions to reverse engineer all of this so as to elicit the answers that we want. And that is what is going to be in the first client meeting. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you is what the set looks like. And this is a studio that I do meetings in right now. You can see this. I mean, this is all physical. In the informed interview set, it looks like this. So very much like the set you would see on CTV News or CNN or anyone else. So again, the credibility of what this looks like is so very important that you're there on the set. There's, your name and all the information, the logos have informed, the set design and all the rest of it. There's a ticker tape going across the bottom of who you are and what you do, and the rest of that. So that is what the set will look like that you'll be on. It's through a platform called StreamYard. Technology now is absolutely incredible, and so that is what your interview will look like. So the interview and how it's structured, and again, studying the science of human behavior for so long, it's so very important, I think, to be able to find out from the messenger, from you. The interview begins learning about you and your why. Why is it that you do what you do aside from the money? Everyone assumes that, yes, of course, we're going to be there and, earning a living. But the average client is going to think you're just here because you need to buy your kids a bike. And so we need to give the audience something else to understand of what drives you. What is your emotion and passion beyond that? So what is your why? Why did you get into the business? And what do you take from this process emotionally in helping to provide the products and services to your client? Very important to humanize you. We then go into the interview. ask all the questions that have been predetermined in advance. And throughout the entire interview, there is no sales and no promotion. And that is intentional, and it's absolutely key, because people are watching this and they're hearing about you and they're learning about you and they're learning about what you do. And as they're watching this and thinking, hey, that kind of is something that, that touches me. And then the interview ends and there is no sales. We structure it so that people that are viewing will only just do that and, and hear about you. At the end of the interview, what I typically say is something that I ask all of my guests. There is no obligation at all to this, but if viewers were to have questions or would like to learn more about this, would it be okay if we shared your information here on the contact page? Right. And of course, you will say, yes, I love what I do. I love answering questions for people. By all means, share the information. I thank them very much. Tell people to share this video with as many people as they know on a topic that is very popular. Have a good day. We'll be back and see you next time here on Informed. So that's how strangers get to hear everything that you say in a first client meeting without booking them for a first meeting. And again, for so many people in business, the challenge is not to close a client. It's getting them to take the time, right, to hear you out. So the goal is to have a finished interview after the final production. So we're looking for the final interview to be about 10 minutes, final production product. After it's finished in post-production, it's provided to you, and you will own it 100%. And it's something you can use this month, in 6 months, at the end of the year, next year. I mean, we structure the interview so it's evergreen, so it's not time stamped, so you can continue using this on and on in any way that you like. You can use it, on your website for referrals. It's really excellent for referrals. If you're, talking to one of your good clients and you're, talking about the potential of a referral, just say to the client, you know what, I did that interview on that show Informed. Why don't you share that with them, and that'll give them an idea of who I am and what I do. What a tremendous way to introduce someone to a new prospect and a referral. Share it with all the clients you have. Share it with people that they may know, and prospects and contacts. Use it through all of your social media platforms. And what I've found is a really excellent way to share it with people and get them to be interested in, in watching the whole thing is that, again, from a human nature standpoint, many people are fascinated by the media, right? So if you say, I was on this show called Informed, people are going to, to want to, find out and learn more. So you connect with a person and say, you know what? I was, pretty surprised and thrilled to be asked to be on this show. I've never, been on a show like this before, but I might have been a little bit nervous. Could you do me a favor and watch it and tell me how you think I did? So in doing that, these people will sit down and watch it thinking, gee, I wonder if he, messed up, or wonder if he looks nervous or whatever. And that's what ends up happening to really drive people to be able to do this and watch it and then hear everything that you typically say in, in a first client interview. I wanted to share with you what a few people before have used Informed.
Randy, listen, the first thing I want to say is thank you. Since our interview that we've had, response was amazing. I can say that when people saw this at first, they thought, what a great message, what a great interview, what a great way to make sure that the masses are starting to hear what you're talking about now. Just incredible in terms of the exposure it gave. Yeah, and I recommend to anybody that's looking to get their message out there, their unique conversation with their clients, to speak to Randy, give him a call. I think you'll never regret his professionalism and the way that he takes care of that conversation.
I'm Daniel Carlson with Advice to Advisors. Known Randy Taylor for probably now pushing 20 years, and thankfully had the opportunity to be involved with Randy on Informed, where I got to talk a lot about what we do at Advice to Advisors. And it's a great way to get your marketing message out there because Randy's a phenomenal interviewer. And the difference between being interviewed by a professional or trying to get your message itself out there is astoundingly different. So if you're looking to get your message out in a very professional manner, I would highly suggest that you contact Randy Taylor and look into the Informed program.
I'm glad I have this opportunity to mention the Informed product to those interested in this type of information, because it really has been a game changer for me. I've been looking for an honest and direct way to separate myself from all the social media noise that's out there. And having Randy, recognized authority figure, be able to draw out some excellent points of what my product is, helped me separate myself from the noise that's out there, and has been tremendous for driving people to my website, to my service, so that I can serve more. And it's been an absolute asset.
Hi, my name is Les Mraz, and I'm here to talk about the Informed video with Randy Taylor. Just want to say that it's been an excellent platform for myself to really get out to my clients and let them know, I guess, more about what I do. I think it's just been a great, again, a great platform. And I definitely would recommend it to any of you advisors out there. And the Informed videos have definitely brought me some more quality business, which I think is just fantastic.
So that's the overview on Informed, what it is, how it works, why it works, and it's something that you'll have as your own product for now and at any time in the future. So the investment for you to do this, including the meetings and scripting and recording and post-production and providing you with a video and the rest of it, is $14.95. For this session today, I decided to send this out to a number of contacts that I have in the on the LinkedIn space. And for this session today, if you would like to proceed, it's $5.95, and that's it. It also includes a full video training session on video training for how to use this product on LinkedIn, a consistent funnel system to consistently continue to put this out, all the scripting and all the ways to do this and use this, and then follow up. And then after that, you will have access to myself at any time for questions and one-on-one assistance. So again, the process, if you would like to go ahead with this, is to register. We'll then schedule a meeting between you and I to develop the topic and all the questions. Once that's developed, everything will go to you in advance for approval. We'll then schedule a date to record it. It then goes off to post-production, and generally within about 5 days of recording it, it will be provided back to you, and you'll be enrolled in the LinkedIn training program. And again, if you have any questions, by all means, reach out. Love to have a conversation. Again, thank you very much. Appreciate this, and look forward to chatting again soon. Have a wonderful day, and be well.